The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. If you enjoy our work, please like, comment, subscribe, and follow the links in the description. Thanks for your support, and enjoy.
Greetings and salutations, listener. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined, as always, by the boy.
Hey!
This is the Two Nerds Podcast, and today we're talking about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
That's true. That's true. Just occurring to me, did you actually play the sound test that we usually do?
Yes.
Like 2 seconds ago?
Yep, buddy.
Okay.
Peeling back that old fourth wall.
Yep, we usually test the audio to make sure it's nice, and I don't remember 2 seconds ago when he did it, so this might be an interesting podcast, everybody.
Don't worry, I'll edit it out in post.
No, you won't. You absolutely will not.
You kidding me? This is eating up valuable time. So, before we get into this, I don't think we ever talked about our opinion of Jurassic World: The First Inning.
Did we not do a podcast on that?
I don't think so. And I've already closed my web browser, which is full of WWE shirts, so I don't really want to reload it. They told me they've got a deal going on right now for Extreme Rules. If you buy one shirt, you get another one for $1. I like a good deal, and I need shirts. But then I went to the store, and I've opened up a can of worms, because they've got Southpaw Regional Wrestling shit in there. And
Oh, no! Oh, I can buy a Lance Catamaran t-shirt?
I didn't see one of those, but I saw Do It for Dewey and the all kinds of other show shirts that have like the matches on the back and stuff. So we'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But for now, even if we did a podcast before, which boy will confirm or deny, so we can plug it momentarily, I wasn't super impressed with Jurassic World. I didn't think there were a lot of likable characters. Chris Pratt's character was fine. I didn't really care for either of the children. I didn't care for... What's that actress? Is that Bryce Dallas Howard?
Yeah, Bryce Dallas Howard.
I didn't care for her character. Some of the, background characters were okay. Vincent D'Onofrio did a great job, but he was a bad guy, so... it was just hard to get into the story when I wasn't rooting for anyone. And I didn't like a lot of the steps the story took.
Yeah, no, it came out in 2015. I don't even know that we would have done that.
But, yeah.
I liked the movie just fine. It wasn't amazing, but I'm going to be 100%. I'm going to keep it 100 with you, okay, Ultimo Dragon? I don't watch Jurassic Park movies for high cinema. I watch Jurassic Park movies to watch large lizards that don't have feathers eat people. That's what I watch Jurassic Park for, and I got that out of Jurassic World.
I really like the first Jurassic Park movie. I think it's a really good movie. I think it's got really good plots. There are plenty of movies I can just watch for, like the Friday the 13th series. I'm here to watch some kids get stabbed.
Right. What's the easiest way to put this? I don't think the first Jurassic World is a bad movie, by any means. I think it's a good film. I think it's a technological marvel for its time. I don't think that can really even be disputed, to be honest. But
it still looks good.
It still looks good, but it is corny. It is about as corny and tropey and on the nose as its sequels. It's not better than them.
I don't know about Jurassic World, and I have... There are issues with 2 and 3 just because Jurassic Park already existed when they came out. Also, the second half of 2 is a little... But,
I think Jurassic Park 3 gets shit on unnecessarily.
It was a fine film.
It wasn't perfect. The Alan thing was a little weird, but it wasn't a bad movie.
No, it was fine. It was more the movie I wanted to see when I went to see Jurassic Park 2, except I wanted, Jeff Goldblum and not the guy from Event Horizon, whose name escapes me.
You mean the guy from Jurassic Park?
Yeah. Well, I can't say that because Jeff Goldblum was also in Jurassic Park.
But, But in any case, we're talking about Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom.
Yes, and I actually was interested in this movie from the trailers. It seemed a lot more suspenseful and action-packed, and I liked the also very tropey plot line they were feeding us.
Yeah.
They put Jeff Goldblum in for at least 5 minutes, and it's all I ever asked for. I didn't even ask for that much. I wanted,
for any movie, really.
I wanted 10 seconds of like him watching footage of what was going on in Jurassic World 1 at home on his couch and going, I told you. And that would have shot the movie up a letter grade, in my opinion.
And they gave you much more.
And they gave me much more in this film.
And it was essentially him sitting in front of Senate going, why are none of you listening to me? Why do none of you ever listen to me? One of his actual lines is, is the equivalent of how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Like,
you flew me in here all the way from my home to talk in front of you about dinosaurs, because I'm the dinosaur guy who's experienced the dinosaurs, and you're not listening to me.
And you never do. You never do. And you won't, so we're boned. But I do want to say a couple specific things about this movie in comparison to the last one, because since we didn't give much of an opinion on the last one, it behooves us to compare when possible.
Sure.
Chris Pratt is much better in this movie than he was in the last one.
I still think his character is a little bland.
I do too, but in this one they let him be more Chris Pratt about it.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, when he plays such bombastic roles, like any other role Chris Pratt has ever done, basically.
When he, like in the first movie, he's just very much grizzled, serious action man. And that's, look, he's a believable action star, that's not the problem, it's just that the character comes across as really flat and personalityless. I liked him in the movie just fine, but in the second movie, he's got a lot more going for him. He's the same character, but he seems like he's not empty inside.
Yeah, like those moments where he gets to show heart are much more about him showing heart than doing cool dinosaur tricks.
There are great lines about his cool dinosaur tricks, though.
Sure, and a lot of great motions and stuff. There's a point where someone is getting cornered by a velociraptor, and he does the Chris Pratt hand motion thing.
It's just his thing now, yeah.
Well, no, this other guy does. Like,
I've
seen him do this. Maybe this will work for me.
And then that doesn't go well.
I don't. Sometimes, listener, and we mentioned this before, sometimes we skip out on doing podcasts about movies because we don't have a whole lot to say.
That's kind of the case with this one. This movie is a Jurassic Park movie.
It's good. I liked it. I've heard that there's a handful of different sets of opinions. A lot of people feel like it feels like two very different movies, a la Jurassic Park 2.
Yeah, I mean, look, not for nothing, it's the plot of Jurassic Park 2.
Basically.
It is almost the exact plot of, in the same way that Jurassic World is basically Jurassic Park. Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom is basically The Lost World Jurassic Park.
And that's okay, because I honestly, even without as much attention to Goldblum, this might be a better movie overall. I think the last half of the movie is better than the last half of Jurassic Park 2.
This movie doesn't have a T-Rex running through a city.
Sure, but we get that sweet Indo.
Yes. Okay, so this is a plot point I'm going to warn you about. And then I'm going to give you we didn't do the no spoilers review, but I'm going to give you a
Jurassic Park.
I'm going to give you dinosaurs eat people. I'm going to give you a couple seconds of silence to mute things because I don't want to ruin part of this movie for you. In the movie, the Indominus Rex was killed in the last movie. One of the plot points is they get some of its DNA, because this is Jurassic Park, and make a new one that is even more of a raptor than the last one, who is like 2x raptor size instead of being big like a T-Rex. And it's made from the Velociraptor and the Indominus Rex. So they call it the Indoraptor.
That's how the nomenclature for raptors goes. Look up the Utahraptor.
Yeah, it is. That's how raptor names work. I would have gone with Dominus Raptor, because that really like cuts all of the subtlety off of Indominus Rex's name. and it's a cooler name, but Indoraptor was fine.
Hell, even Domino Raptor.
Domino Raptor, yeah, that would be fine also. That would get pizza jokes, but it would be fine. Because in the movie, while watching, I was like, Indoraptor. It just sounds like a raptor from Indochina, I guess.
This is an Indonesian raptor.
An Indonesian raptor or something. But I didn't notice this until the end. I didn't notice this at all until he said it at the end of the movie, and now I can't unhear it. Indo is a euphemism for the Mary Jane, the devil's lettuce, marijuana. And now he's 420saurus forevermore.
Like,
I forgot to give you guys a moment of silence. Sorry, he's 420saurus for you now, too.
I heard it from the first time they said it, and I was like, that got passed. Look, the Pachycephalosaurus is getting shortened to Pachy's, while culturally insensitive, perhaps.
That is what they're called.
That's just what they're called and have been in the, field of paleontology forever. It's not... It's a different word. It's not a racial slur.
But Indo, how did that
how
get
does
passed?
that get? How does that get
Well,
past?
to be fair, I listened to a lot of Snoop Dogg when I was younger.
Sure.
And I didn't hear it until you pointed it out.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just a bunch of people
Yeah.
who, like me, were far too white to hear it that day.
I guess. And he had a cool racing stripe.
He had a cool
that's
yellow
my favorite.
racing. Well, blue has a blue stripe.
Yeah, so this one needs a cool, slick yellow racing stripe.
And like scales, like
Yeah,
more
like
than just
armored scales.
Yeah, like obvious scale mail looking armor plates.
And stabby hair wires. And a cool T-Rex face.
And like way over the top, super curvy, probably couldn't actually do anything with them claws. But they don't bury the lead on this one. The Indoraptor 420saurus is specifically designed for combat. It's designed to be a murder monster.
Yeah.
They literally made a horror movie monster because near as I can tell, Wu, the Asian geneticist, that's what he wants to do.
Yes.
With his life, he wants to make a horror movie monster. He's a literal mad scientist, and I love that about
One
him.
of my favorite parts of the movie was toward the end when they're all trying to escape. And, just small moments, not broad parts, but they put all these test tubes and stuff in a briefcase, and they just kind of throw them in there and then shut the lid, and I swear they shut the lid on one of the beakers.
They totally did.
Just gotta throw the science in this case. Sweet, good, done, let's go.
Science case. It really gets the panic of trying to get the hell out of there across.
But then later they open it up, and then the big, sequel bait thing, and it's they're neatly set vials.
But
That's not how that happened.
No, but there's not as many of them.
You fucking threw it in there like spaghetti.
There's not as many of them as the ones they threw in there. I think that was done well because clearly they lost a couple in hawking them in the fucking case and shutting it on. That was a good moment.
I laughed.
One of my favorite moments, similarly, is, and I wanted to highlight this because one of the characters is what she call a paleo veterinarian?
Yeah.
Like a dinosaur doctor who's never met a dinosaur IRL in the Jurassic World universe. So she's got some nice moments where she sees her first dinosaur and she's kind of tearing up, and it's very shades of Grant.
That actress was really good. She played that character really well. That was a believable human being.
Very believable. Very believable. Perhaps a little too ballsy.
No, it's 2018.
No, I mean, to be believable. But this is a Jurassic Park movie.
So,
Chris Pratt literally outran a pyroclastic flow. Being a little too ballsy to be believable is kind of the mode we're operating on. Those things go 50 miles an hour. That is... But,
Well, he was downhill.
It's not a bear. It's not the pyroclastic bear.
Two-nerd safety tip: if you're ever running from a grizzly bear, run downhill. Their front halves are heavier than their back halves, and they will go ass over tea kettle.
Or just stop chasing you, because they also know that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There you go. Two-nerd safety tip.
There you go. But... Jesus, our audience and people who might interact with a grizzly in natural life overlap at all.
20 years from now, one of our listeners is going to be out on a camping trip, and they're going to get cornered by a grizzly bear, and they're going to call back to this moment, and they'll be like, "Thank you, Turners. You saved my life just now."
Yes, thank you, Turnerds.
Fuck you. I've been smoking that dank Indoraptor.
God, you know what? No. If I was a purveyor of marijuana and marijuana accessories, I would 100% name a new strain Indoraptor.
If it isn't already a new strain, I will be disappointed in the marijuana industry.
Let's get on that, because that's Hollywood is handing you. Like, Hollywood is handing you I got that Luke Cage level freebie.
Mm-hmm.
But I completely lost the story I was telling.
About the character, how she had good moments.
She has good moments. She was super ballsy, super with it. Very, like, in charge in the like, when they have to do surgery on the Velociraptor, which is hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, she really reminded me of a doctor, of a very professional matter of fact.
It's been so long since I've seen Jurassic Park, but, like, she has shades of both Grant and the doctor character from the first Jurassic Park. I don't remember that lady's name. In character or out, really.
Ellie.
Something like that.
Something. Statler?
Statler, I think, is maybe right.
And she was played by Purple Hair Lady from...
Yeah, she was played by General Purple Hair.
Yeah.
So... Wow, you're not noticing those were the same two people. The same one person. Never mind.
Moon smoking that dank Indoraptor, guys!
There's a moment in the movie
420 blazing
that I really wanted to highlight because it's two of my favorite characters interacting. It's that doctor and then mad scientist Dr. Wu, who's like, I need a sample of this Velociraptor's blood. The Velociraptor is busy just kicking shit. Blue is like throwing an absolute hissy fit in that cage, to which the doctor responds with, yeah, go for it. Because she's been handcuffed to the Velociraptor cage. Rude, by the way. And she tells him, like, you're not going to get anything good, that the raptor's contaminated. He talks about, like, he goes on this big speech about how, no, he's super great and he's an awesome mad scientist and this is definitely a pure raptor. And her response, I think it was, yeah, but I did a blood transfusion with a T-Rex, so it's a sock drawer in there, was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, she was great. And that's really what really helped me get into this movie in the first place. Is not only was Chris Pratt better, not only was Bryce Dallas Howard
all the other
better,
characters who weren't villains were people I actually wanted to see live.
Well, and even the minor villain, even the paramilitary guy was.
You just liked him because of his actor.
Yeah, it's Ted Levine, and I really like Ted Levine. I was really glad. I didn't know he was in this movie, so I was.
It's always weird when I see Ted Levine. Like, he's one of those actors who's been in a lot, but you never really expect him.
It's always weird when I see Ted Levine. Hey, welcome to the bank. Would you like to make a deposit? What? Ted Levine, what are you doing here?
Yeah, that would also be strange. But he's one of those actors who's in a lot of stuff who you just never expect.
I'm always glad to see him. I think he's a very talented actor. He did great in this film, man. He had a good.
Oh, he was very believable.
Good crying scene.
Again, I mentioned this in Luke Cage podcast. I'm gonna mention it here. Takes a lot of fucking balls to be willing to cry with the nose snot on camera.
Yeah, it was good shit, dude. The visuals were beautiful in this too. I don't know that I needed to see it on the big screen.
Yeah, I don't think anything was. I mean, I guess the beginning bit of the spoilers. Most of the movie doesn't take place on that island.
That's made clear in the trailers.
They're there for like fucking 20 minutes.
It's about half the movie, approximately.
I would not say it's an hour.
I don't know, dude. They're there for a while, man. Maybe I'm counting the boat as the island.
I don't. No. If you are, then yeah, definitely.
I mean, like, we're splitting hairs here, but.
But anyway, the part on the island I think benefited from being on a big screen. The big volcano,
and all the big old
the
dinosaurs.
Charging dinosaurs and all. But after that, once you're off the island, no, it's actually sort of a claustrophobic movie. It doesn't.
I thought this film did claustrophobia very well. Thank you for mentioning that, because there were a lot of scenes where I was getting panicked, and I'm not claustrophobic, and it was just like, oh, it's very tense. It ratcheted up the tension in a way I haven't felt in a movie because of that claustrophobia, because of the monster chase. Like, they did that really, really well. I might argue better than the first one, but that might just be me coming from the movie and being so stoned off my ass from that raptor weed. Joke's not going away.
Joke's not going away. Tuner's disclaimer: we do not actually smoke the Mary Jane.
No, I don't even know what it tastes like.
Me neither. But
it would probably help balance out some of my issues, so maybe I should smoke the dank raptor weed. But
it's not currently legal where we live.
Yeah, so, well, even if it was, I don't. It's not like and I wouldn't tell you if I did. No. It's the internet. You're allowed to say you smoke weed. No one's going to come get you.
But, so I wanted to do a couple different shout-outs to people also who were in the movie who I really enjoyed. Toby Jones is great in this movie.
Is he the...
he's the Dr. Zola. He's the
oh, yeah.
The... well, we don't... the character actor, who's doing a character plucked from the headlines to a certain extent.
I didn't... This was my 420 Raptor. I didn't notice until...
Well, it's not a direct XB. It's clearly a takeoff, but it's not a direct... You know what? Watch the movie. You'll either get it or you won't, and if you don't, good for you. I'm happy for you.
And either way, the guy did a great job as this character, and I thought it was a really interesting character.
Oh yeah, he's playing like a really disinterested, kind of slimy, skeezix black market guy.
Yeah.
Just as that character right on its face, he's excellent. This movie has the proper amount of watching the characters you hate get eaten by dinosaurs.
Sure, that's always good.
Is there a
I
character...
like how there's a big moment. And through most of it, there's like a, we cut to a different angle, that guy got eaten. But there's one guy you really want to see get eaten. And they linger. Not like horror movie levels, but they give you that moment you want it.
Yeah, like he gets like snapped up, and then like, you know how birds do that thing where they have the food in their mouth and they open their mouth and close their mouth again, like biting down on it just to resituate it. They do that.
It's good shit. But there's a moment early, where they kind of take the piss out of the big T-Rex thing. While they're on the island and shit's blowing up, the T-Rex barges in and saves the day from something. I don't even remember what.
The T-Rex really is like the T-Rex ex machina in this movie.
The T-Rex does that thing the T-Rex always does in Jurassic Park movies, barges in and saves the day.
Where he barges in as stealth T-Rex from nowhere and saves the day. I love that.
And
I don't give a single fuck about that. That's a great thing.
Sure, no, I just love how they turned it on its head, because she's standing there, 1 foot on the whatever it was, doing the Jurassic Park pose T-Rex roar, and then the volcano blows up again, and she's like, oh shit!
Oh, like she shakes her head like, oh, I totally forgot what I was doing. Sorry, guys, and like keeps charging.
This movie is full of moments like that, and it is what I wanted out of Jurassic World. It is what I felt like the potential of that movie, given the cast, given the crew, given the ideas behind it, would have been able to pull off. And it did it with aplomb. It doesn't blow me away as much as other movies I've seen in the last year. But it's good. I paid the money. I saw the film. I have no regrets.
Yeah, I would suggest if you like Jurassic Park movies, go see this movie. You will like this movie. But it's not going to reinvent the wheel.
No,
it's not an amazing film.
It's got a little bit of an injection of B-horror more than most Jurassic Park movies.
Yeah, there's that last section really just kind of transformed into a horror movie.
Yeah, and a decent one. It's been a while since I've seen a good horror movie because the genre became slashers or spooky ghosts. And I like those.
To be absolutely honest, that's very classic Jurassic Park, because if you remember, the last part of Jurassic Park is a fucking horror movie.
Yeah, that scene where Nedry's out in the rain and the trees and that Dilophosaurus comes at him. Fantastic.
And the scene in when the kids are being chased around the kitchen.
In the kitchen, yeah, definitely.
That is a horror movie sequence. The raptors are horror movie monsters in that movie. And to a certain extent, the 420saurus is here.
It's this film, and that's what I mean. It has the spirit of the first movie, and it does its own thing, but it keeps that strength of spirit. And it's got characters you want to root for. Because, dude, you have your cheap cash-in slashers where you make the shithead characters so you can watch the killer kill them and vicariously work out your issues through the silver screen for $5 and a bucket of popcorn. But in a movie like this, you want to sympathize with the main characters because you want them to carry a franchise.
Yeah, it'd be like Jurassic World did have a bit of that. If the characters from Jurassic World... There's a moment in Jurassic Park. Ian Malcolm, the Jeff Goldblum, must go faster, must go faster. If you would put pretty much 80% of the characters in Jurassic World in that Jeep in Jurassic Park, I'd have been rooting for the fucking T-Rex.
and that works for certain things, but
I like Chris Pratt's character in Jurassic World, but
I don't hate him. He
comes across a little flat. Bryce Dallas Howard starts insufferable because she's supposed to in Jurassic World.
Sure.
She becomes likable by the end, and she picks up from there in this movie and just gets more likable. The two new characters they introduce are just great.
The two new characters start out likable. Thank you.
Like tech nerd and awesome doctor lady.
But like, there's a beautiful triumvirate here. Jurassic Park movies are not unlike zombie movies, in the classical sense, in that you have protagonists who are humans, you have antagonists who are humans, and then you have this force of nature off to the side, the dinosaurs, who are just doing what they do by instinct.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say in all good zombie movies, but in a lot of really good zombie movies, the zombies aren't the bad guys.
No. Zombie movies are stories about human conflict, and that's what Jurassic Park is about, except that even more marketable than zombies were in the mid-2000s are dinosaurs, because that shit sells toys, my dude.
It sure do. A bunch of 420saurus toys are going to get sold off this movie.
I've seen a couple of... I would like some more detailed ones that aren't made for children to beat against other toys, but I wouldn't mind a cool little model of the Indo. Like, that's... I dig its look a lot, actually.
It would give me an excuse to buy a bunch of tiny weeds, like a little tiny weed hat and maybe a tiny fake bong to put in its claws.
Sure.
420saurus.
Yeah. I'm sorry that you probably won't see the original thumbnail art I made for this. It's a cute image, but what you've been watching for the last half hour, well, we did this to ourselves. I was so worried about whether or not I could, I didn't stop to think if I should.
Maybe switch halfway through.
Yeah.
Like maybe. Start off with the other one and then switch to the other one at like halfway through.
Not a bad idea. So you guys can at least get to enjoy the nice normal thumbnail art that I made before this conversation and all of its memes. But I would recommend it 100%. If you like suspenseful, actiony, even horror-y movies, it's not so graphic that you can't that if you've got a weak stomach you can't watch it. Yeah,
it never gets gory.
No. The tension is really good. The cinematography is really good. They even were very careful to be very Michael Crichton-y in their writing.
You pointed that out after the movie, and it was very, it's not something I thought of at the time, but having read a lot of Michael Crichton, he's right. The dialogue reads really Crichton-y, almost
Except for Chris Pratt.
Except for Chris Pratt, who is literally just doing a Chris Pratt.
Doing the most reserved Chris Pratt in history.
Well, doing Chris Pratt actually, because
probably,
that's about what he's mostly serious, kind of manly dad jokes.
Yeah,
that's who he is as a person. He's I don't get the sense he's acting very much in this movie, but he what he is doing is good. You know what? In case they don't see it, in case you decide to just go with the art that I know you shall make going forward.
Oh yes.
I do want to talk about a fucking adorable sequence with the baby raptors. They have footage from, they show footage from back before Jurassic World went down, and Owen, that's Chris Pratt's character, I think, just, training them, and it's fucking adorable. It is wildly adorable.
I agree. They definitely did that Jurassic Park polish where they watch how animals move and act. There was a point where there was a baby Triceratops that was a little stiff, but just the rig wasn't.
10 seconds.
Yeah, it was 10 seconds. The rig was suboptimal. That's the worst it was. But it otherwise looked really good.
Dinosaur whose name I can never remember. The one with the really hard head.
The Pachycephalosaurus.
Yeah, I can never remember that name. Whether I know that name, I can't connect it to that dinosaur.
Sure.
He helps them bust out of prison, and that dinosaur moved incredibly,
Yeah, I don't know if that was actually a Pachycephalosaurus. It might have been a slightly different dinosaur, just so they didn't have to worry about that issue again, because I think Pachycephalosaurus are shaped slightly different. This one had more horns around its head, and that was a broad
category.
spectrum. Yeah. There wasn't just one kind of dinosaur that looked like that.
But like it's stuff like that. That thing moved really realistically.
There was a point where the Indoraptor did something that made me think of my cat. So like,
Most of the bit with the baby raptors makes me think of like that was very much like a cat who's super aggro, but.
There was a lot of movements as well. I liked. There's a point where an herbivore is walking around and almost steps on something, but their foot kind of slides off of it, which is one of those little tricks you do just to add more realism, and probably took a lot of fucking work as an animator. But it's good if you've ever seen like a cow or something that isn't super aware of its own legs, like navigate any kind of at all rough terrain or over an obstacle. It was super, similar to that. The little touches were really, really nice.
Overall, like, I think that's a big part of what made this movie better than the last one, is more attention to detail, more little stuff, because that's what separates the characters being likable in this movie from unlikable in the last one, is little touches, little bits of realism that make them seem like actual people who you can empathize with.
Yeah, and just like the characters from the get-go, I mean, most of the characters in the beginning of Jurassic World were introduced as kind of shitty. The older brother is introduced as kind of shitty. The younger brother is sympathetic for like a minute, but then he starts acting really shitty.
Not full Babadook child shitty, but like on that scale.
Yeah, it's so many principal characters.
Whereas the little girl in this movie is adorable.
Yeah, she's cute. She's nice.
She's precocious, not infuriating.
And that's an interesting subplot. I think they took that an interesting place, and
it's not a very surprising place, given the context of the film, but it is a cool one.
Yeah, and I'm curious about the next movie. I wonder where they'll take it. If it's just going to be, spoilers, but if it's just going to be Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them Dinosaur Edition, or what?
You know what? Honestly, I kind of wanted to just, like, I don't want it to go full the new Planet of the Apes series where, like, the dinosaurs take over. Because I don't buy it. That's the reason I haven't watched those Apes reboot movies, because I'm sorry, I don't buy it.
The reason I don't is because they chronologically took out my favorite Planet of the Apes movie.
Wait, which one?
I can't remember the name of it. It's been a really long time. But the way the Planet of the Apes series originally came out, there's a movie where the apes are on, like, 1970s Earth. I really like that one. That's my favorite Planet of the Apes movie.
Oh my god, no, I know the movie you're talking about.
Yes.
You and Kevin Smith have the same favorite Planet of the Apes movie.
Good.
That's why he got mad at that series too.
And I'm not like mad, but it just shot all interest for me because the movie series, the new one, picks up like before that and in a way where that can't happen.
Yeah. Chiefly because it takes place in modern day.
Well, obviously they can't go back to the 70s, but I wouldn't have minded seeing that same
plot line,
surreality to it all, and see that plot line play through, and it's just not.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't buy it. We have cruise missiles. We have cruise missiles and nukes, and they're in San Francisco. Worst case scenario, we don't need San Francisco that badly. I can't buy the premise. I'm sorry, but I don't want it to go all the way there. Although it would be more believable because that's a T-Rex that's more threatening than a gorilla.
Well, especially because the Indo was able to take like a couple of shots,
yeah, it was literally bulletproof.
And then it was like, oh, that was cute.
Like he shot it a couple times with an actual gun, and it was like, ow, ow. Oh, he's not buying it. He's not buying my
my swell ruse.
My swell ruse where I pretend to be injured and get them to come closer. Fine. What up? I'm fine. You're dead.
Yeah, I dug it. And there were way more dinosaurs, like, screen time-wise, per capita. Lots of dinosaurs. I got to see Ankylosaurus again, doing cool shit. That's my favorite dinosaur, so I was really happy about that. And
I'm looking forward to the Screaming Cowboy Man meme version of all the dinosaur fights.
Screaming Cowboy Man?
You know that song, where it's a song...
I don't know the song, but I've seen the silhouette of the man in the hills, and I've gone, this is a song I don't want to hear.
There's a meme that goes with that song, where they replace people screaming in movies with that song.
Okay.
They did it with the three-way fight at the end of Jurassic World. I'm looking forward to it going forward. Like, I'm looking forward to the Fallen Kingdom version of that meme. Get on it, memesters. I'm not going to do it.
So we spent all that time adding filler, and we still went over. I think that's a good sign as any to pull the ripcord on this one, my friend.
Okay. Everything's better when nerds talk about it.